Glad to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Amen. I'm glad you're here, bro. We've been waiting to get you on there for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
Now, Brother Ray is going to update us and educate us on what it is about cancer. Cancer research and the symptoms of cancer, that sort of thing, and one thing in particular concerning men in cancer. So we're going to get to Brother Ray about that about 7:30 and that 7:30 part of the show. But without further ado, also, guess we just stepped in the room. Now you could call her Michelle, or you could call her Shelly, or you could call her Michelle Lane, like you like to do. But ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the Diva Dynamics herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Keel. Y'all, how you doing there, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you guys so much. I'm back. I've been vacationing.
She is so seriously tan, you guys.
You look real tan, just round up to that.
I'm brown skin now.
You brown skin. So you enjoyed your vacation?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
She's been traveling, y'all.
She has enjoyed many vacations. Within a short period.
That's why June was my month.
So the June. Oh, okay. That's what you got to do.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
All right.
Doing all right.
We back. We ready.
You ready? All right. Because ladies and gentlemen, now before we get to like I said, we're going to talk to Brother Ray in about 30 minutes. Now the thing is, we figured there's something, of course, happening in our nation. Certain events that happened this past week, we felt we would be remiss if we did not, offer our opinions on it, offer some solutions, offer our prayers, offer condolences, and all those things that we must do to be responsible to our nation, to our world, to our fellow man, to our community, concerning the events that happened this past week. They're very grave, serious issues concerning race. I'm sure you all heard about them. Of course, about the two African-American men that were shot by police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the other in Minnesota. And of course, what happened, the tragedy that happened in Dallas with the shooting of 5 police officers. Well, 5 police officers who died, others, I think there were 7 others that were injured. And it really set our nation off on sort of a powder keg, so to speak. Agreements, disagreements, some to the extreme, about how are we to deal with race relations in this country. How can we all basically, from, if I can borrow a phrase from many years ago, from I think it was the early 90s concerning the Rodney King case, how can we all get along? And we want to approach this with a Christian insight, Christian point of view, Christ likeness, things concerning Black Lives Matter, things concerning how people say, all lives matter. People saying things like, we're using the, we don't want to lose focus from the original, situation at hand, which is the killing of the 2 young men in Baton Rouge and also in Minnesota, with also the death of the 5 police officers. So the country's kind of split on which should you focus on, what should we focus on, what should we do. So I want to bring that to our panel here right now so we can talk about it and offer our opinions on what can be done, what kind of resolutions can we reach, and how do you feel about what's happening. So,
I've been giving this some thought all day about what's going on. For me, I was born in the 50s, and growing up in the 50s, I know what community is. They want to say police, need more police, but most of the people in the community was the police. Outside of the police, you knew your neighbor, you knew who was who. If the police saw you do something wrong that didn't warrant him pulling out his gun, he's a beat cop. You had too many cops sitting in the office pushing the same paper around. But the cops that was on the beat in those days, in the 70s and the 60s when I was growing up, they was on the same corner every day with you. So they waited for you. I ain't got to get you today, I'll get you tomorrow. I'll chase you tomorrow. But I'm going to get you. 9 out of 10 chances, they knew your mother or your brother anyway. Mm-hmm. So for the police officer to police, which was, the job, to take a job as a police officer, which was in those days not prevalent to blacks, go to your Irish, running the Italians was in our community. But they were, in some ways, had the same commonality with black people, and they understood what it was to be poor and impoverished. And all of that made a lot of sense. So the police department wasn't what it is today. Right. I'm finding today that the police department today is more this generation of young cops that's born in the department don't look like me, and they don't look like our children. Most of them are our children age. So if I have a son 25 years old, you got a cop that's 25 years, what can he tell my son? Now, if it's pertaining to policing, then he have to go to the penal code. He have to do his job based on the job. But when it comes down to the communication, there's not very much he can tell my son. So for him to come into a community of black people and have an attitude that black man is just a thug, that's something he heard. Primarily 9 out of 10 chances he come from a family where his grandfather was a generation of cops, whereas we come from a great family, a generation of basketball players. I mean, sports, you know what I mean? We played sports. That was our ticket, our way of staying alive in the park. Right. But we was protected. You didn't see a cop running down the street shooting at a kid because he stole some candy. Or you didn't see a cop running to catch a guy, asking a guy for his license, and then pulling out his gun and shooting him. So my whole thing, thinking about it today, about all this stuff today, I came to the conclusion that what you're really dealing with is people who are coming in America, and they already know or been told about black people in the ghettos. They're lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to pull their pants up. They don't want to be educated. They don't want to do nothing for themselves. And this is what they bring when they come out on the beat, when they come to work. And it's really a myth because my youngest daughter, 28, I watched her graduate at Kingsborough College, and I saw so many black people, young black men graduating, getting their degree, and they don't show you that. We're with the Channel 7 in the news at the graduate at these colleges to see these young black men graduating and doing positive things. So there's a lot of things that polarize that they want you to see, and they say, but they're not showing you. And we as black men in our community that has sons and grandsons that are in school and doing something, we need to be more supportive and get out and let it be known. But every life is a life, whether the kids graduate school, but school is not for everybody. Some kids are good with their hands, some kids are good with their knowledge. But we need to be more supportive and get out here, man, and let them know that a life is a life. And if you're going to take a black life and you don't think that we're not going to come out here and stand up for it, you're wrong. I disagree with some of the ways we go about doing it. If you want to go back and talk about the 60s, you had Malcolm X say, by any means necessary, with a rifle in his hand, looking out the window when they were getting ready to bomb his babies and his kids. And if you want to go back in the 60s, and you can see Martin Luther King said, take up the cross. And we do that. We go to church, we're mothers, we're fathers, we're workers, we work like everyone else, and we need to be respected like everyone else. So with that, I'm going to end it, because it's a lot that we need to do instead of talking about it. See, I'm a vet, man, and as a veteran, we got a lot of vets out here that's out of work. Yeah. Who can complete a community better than a veteran? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They know where the booby traps is at. Mm-hmm. They know it's awesome. That's
why I say we need that male. See, that's the whole thing, man. I think we need
that male. This guy in Dallas was a veteran. Yeah. They thought he was this dude, but then they realized that this guy had skills.
Oh yeah, he was very proficient with weapons.
And warfare. Because he actually took a police station. One night. Mm-hmm. But the training that they don't know how he got that training. He was in the military. He was in the military.
He was at all times. He got to his house. He was making bombs.
He had some serious.
He was
Now
going
you
to
got
do
these
some.
military guys with PTSD,
Yeah.
and they coming out of the military. But they're not treating them fairly. These the guys that take the police test, but they move their other case out the way and they bring some guy from Russia in because the police department, most of them is not from America. They come in from Russia and all these places and get in the police department. They graduate a high school diploma and go to college at night. And then they come to our community and they don't want to hear that we got the language is different.
There you go. See? Procedures have to change. But we're going on 8:04, so Brother Ray, we got to get to talk to you about you, brother. So we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back. This is Ushering in the Kingdom.
Amen.
Don't you dare touch that dial.
All right.
I'm touching.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on UITK Radio, coming at you live here on July 1 in 2016. 2016, amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard, we discussed the thing that's concerning our nation in hand, but now we're going to shift to another thing, which I think that affects a lot of our nation, a lot of our country, a lot of people, and I'm sure the brother that we have right here, right now, can really explain and educate us on such things as far as, when it comes to cancer. Now, like I said, we got Brother Raymond Rice sitting over here to his hand clap. That's pretty sad for us, brother. Now, Brother Ray is, I got to say, he's a true advocate because he is a true cancer survivor.
That's right.
Now, we know that the Lord has blessed us to have abundance and also to have good health, because he says he is our Jehovah Rapha. And Brother Ray has been victorious in the fight against cancer. There's a lot of organizations that have been formed in fighting cancer. Ribbons where a lot of people wear on their chest, so to speak, every year to fight cancer. Because cancer is one of those things, it really affects a lot of African American families, some of the white families as well. But it's very prevalent in the African American community. And one thing that Brother Ray is going to talk about, which a lot of people don't talk about. Of course, we're not excluding the ladies at all. When they have mammograms and discover a lump within their breast, so to speak, they have to have a mastectomy. That's at the worst end of the spectrum, so to speak. But Brother Ray is going to talk about how cancer affects African American men, or men, let's put it that way in general, as far as breast cancer. Because there's a lot of men, when I talk to other brothers, say, really? That can happen to guys?
Absolutely.
And definitely. So, Brother Ray Rice, my man.
Hey.
Fill us in, my brother. Let me give you a quick intro we're going to talk to. So, brother, I call him Brother R&R. You get affectionately known as Ray. He's 57-year-old, very handsome gentleman over here. 57 years young. Was born and raised right here in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. Right here in Bed-Stuy. Now, Ray came from a large family of 12.
Wow.
12, look at that. That consists of 6 brothers and 6 sisters. Growing up, Brother Ray was a very good athlete in his favorite sport. And he points out, was basketball. You point guard, man?
That's right.
You got to tell me, who's your favorite team? You can say, I'm a Knicks fan, but if you're not a Knicks fan, that's all right. You got a favorite team?
Well, my favorite team right now, I like the way they play is Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah, right now.
Bronze. So I guess he's pretty happy with LeBron with that championship back in Cleveland, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You must have caught some flack or something. You got to quiet. Well, LeBron is a man. I was very happy for him to do that with me. It was good to see. I really didn't want his career to take that hit and go to another final and not deliver that thing. So I was pulling for Golden State. I was. But I am happy for LeBron doing what he did, though.
Yeah, he don't cheat the game.
No, he don't cheat the game. He plays hard.
He don't cheat the game. He go through you or go around you or go over you.
Let's go.
He plays the game.
That he does, man. Just stop that Mack truck, man. But Brother Ray, at the age of 19, Ray left home and joined the military. He served 12 years in the United States Army. In 1991, Ray married his high school sweetheart, Carmen Santos. And within that union, 2 children at that time was born, ages 2 and 4, Carmen and Ray. That's the name, am I correct? Am I saying that? Oh, no, Carmen and Ray was blessed with the birth of their daughter, Camille. Ray and Carmen have been married. Look at this number. Man, you ought to choose marriage ministry. 32 years.
Wow.
32 years. And he has 3 daughters, 1 son, and 1 grandson. My brother, congratulations to you.
Bless you.
32 years with the same lady. That is amazing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm saying it on the air because brothers gotta hear that. This brother had 1 woman, 32 years, and you can still say happily married, huh?
I read the book.
You read the book?
Yeah.
Don't I?
I'll be able to say happily in another 6 months.
Oh,
32 years.
oh, okay.
Turbulence and everything else. It wasn't easy now.
But you're still here. You're still doing it. Hey, man. But you say you read the book. You can write the book too. But amen. That's a blessing, my brother. Upon retiring from the military, returning to New York, Brother Ray began working at HHC at Woodhull Hospital. That's right there on Broadway here in Brooklyn. In 2003, Ray's wife, Carmen, located a lump in Ray's right breast. Now, this lump turned out to be cancerous. After going through multitudes of tests and chemotherapy, Brother Ray made the decision to retire early from the workforce. Now, through Ray's faith, his belief in love and support from his family, Ray persevered through rigorous requirements that were set before him. Though the enemy, that's what he does, comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Ray knew that God would turn it, and God sure did.
Amen.
Now, Ray began serving at the Brooklyn campus. As we all know, it's Christian Cultural Center. That's right. Under the leadership and mentorship and guidance of our pastor, pastors, K.A.R. and Carol Bernard, to whom we all love very much.
Right.
Now, God's word declares that those things that are set against the righteous will not prosper and will be used for good. Ray has been blessed with several opportunities to share his victories in Christ with overcoming cancer, which he's going to talk about right now. God has given Ray the platform to speak about a subject rarely discussed, as I mentioned earlier, amongst men, which is awareness of male breast cancer. Ray has been blessed to appear on Channel 7, Channel 2, BET, and CCC TV. His passion to spread the good news of Jesus Christ and his trying through all of this to bring hope cannot be extinguished. His focused attention to encourage men to have regular physical examination, and that is key because brothers don't like to go to the doctor, to include breast exams, which has been one of the highlights of his journey. In speaking with Ray, which we're about to do now, you can get to know him personally without him saying a word through his heartfelt declaration that says, all things are possible in Christ who strengthens us. This is not a battle to be fought alone, and that there are helping hands readily available to assist, strengthen, comfort, support, and encourage. All you have to do is just ask. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Raymond Wright, my man. So, my man, you got to talk about your journey through this. Tell me, your wife discovering the lump in your breast. What was your reaction? What was your thoughts going through that?
And I thought it was just an ingrowing hair or something. I didn't think it was anything because I never, like I said, I'm an athlete. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I've always been healthy.
Right.
In the military, maxed the PT test. I was physically fit.
Okay.
Always had a nice physical body. Always paid attention and stayed in tune with my body. And this bump appeared, and I just thought it was just a bump, a regular bump.
Okay. It wasn't painful or anything like that? It wasn't? Okay.
No pain.
That's really nothing.
She had explained to me that it wasn't so much about the bump, but it was the location of the bump, where it was at. Mm. And it was like in the inside of the right breast.
Okay.
So I never thought anything of it. She told me to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I put it off for like about 3 months. And she checked it again. She noticed it was getting bigger.
Really?
Yeah. So at that point, I took a day off of work, went to the hip center, and he did a biopsy there in the hip center, took it out.
Okay.
And I saw it. He showed it to me. And it was a little piece of tissue with 2 black tentacles coming off the end of it.
Wow. Good.
So I said, what are you going to do? I'm going to send this away and I'll call you back in 2 weeks.
Okay. It looked like an air fruit.
Yeah, it was, well, I didn't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. And when I did get the call back,
okay,
I thought he was going to tell me over the phone, everything was okay, but it was his nurse that called me. She told me I need to come to the office to see the doctor.
Right.
I said, no, we'll give the doctor the phone. He can talk to me over the phone. He said, she said, no, you got to come in. He want to see you. And that's when my heart started beating. I'm saying,
Now, when the doctor explained to you that it was cancerous, male, did you have questions? Is it possible for males to receive this sort of thing? It's not usually something that's talked about, that sort of thing. Did you pepper him with a lot of questions? Did you go through a lot in your mind saying, is this the correct diagnosis? Did you think about having a second opinion, all that stuff?
Well, that was after like an hour before we were arguing. He was telling me I had a breast. I said, no, this is my chest.
Right.
They don't have breasts. I said, I have a chest.
Exactly.
Grown man, nobody ever told me about no breast. I thought my wife got a breast. And then I went back and forth. He said, no. I said, no.
Gotcha.
So he got kind of angry, and he went and got one of those models of the body anatomy.
Okay.
That's how he helped. And he put it on the table and started explaining to me with the right proper, pronunciation of the. And I said, okay, well, you got me there. I said, okay, the breast. So we came to that it was the breast. And I said, wow, but a perfect specimen of health. I said, I never had nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with a cold, playing ball. You only went to the doctor for a broken arm or a broken leg, That was the only time anybody in my family went to the doctor than men or the guys I grew up with playing ball.
So your family didn't have like a hereditary history of this type of thing?
No. I have 6 sisters.
Right.
No family history of breast cancer. 6 sisters.
Wow. Well, you got 2 ladies who are in the medical field here. I'm sure you ladies got questions.
Well, I mean, what was your first thought when he told you that it was cancerous?
At first, I got kind of sad, a little sadness came over me. And he said that he had, well, I asked him, what do I do now?
Okay.
That I have cancer. He said, well, I already got the surgeons and everybody set up at Brooklyn Hospital for you to have surgery. I said, well, man, I said, I don't know. I said, you didn't discuss this with me.
Right. Okay.
How you going to set me up for surgery at Brooklyn Hospital? So he said, well, I already did it. That was his attitude. He really had a bad attitude. Like, his attitude was like really like, just go do this and that's it. Don't ask me nothing else,
Right.
And I said, okay, one day. I said, well, I'll get back with you on the hospital thing. So I walked outside, Linden Boulevard. And you know how noisy Linden Boulevard is, all the cars and everything. Right. I'm telling you, man, when I got outside, I didn't hear nothing. It seemed like my senses, my head, there was nothing, I didn't hear anything. Right. And I was walking and I couldn't hear anything, and I snapped out of it. And that's when I said, I'm ready. I'm a veteran. I'm going to the VA to get a second opinion about this. Okay. And I remember going home, getting and writing a note. I already told my wife and my daughter who came from school, so I wrote her a note and told her I had cancer. And she said, stop playing, you're joking. I said, no. He told me I got breast cancer. So she said, yeah. So I said, but tomorrow morning, I'm getting up in the morning going to Manhattan. I said, as a matter of fact, what time is it? I'm going over there now. So I got on the train and went to VA Hospital on 2031st Avenue. And I was the last person there. The doctor was leaving. There was a little doctor, she was leaving. And I said, nobody called me. She said, oh, you're a patient? She said, well, come in, I'll take you. She said, what's going on? I said, well, I just came back from a hip center in Brooklyn, and they told me that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. She got me on the table, she examined me, and she called another doctor. And these were I didn't know that I had got, at that time, the head oncologist of NYU.
Really?
She was the head oncologist of NYU. And she said, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. She said, I'm also a breast cancer survivor. And she called this other doctor, and they came in and they examined me. And they set me up for the different tests all that week. And when they came back with breast cancer, they decided to do the surgery. So then I went home and told my wife that I had to have surgery. Yeah.
The other question is, you said, well, everything went silent. So as with your faith, you didn't accept it from the doctor at Brooklyn Hospital because he's just wanted to just let's do surgery. So would you think that God might have put that in your sense to let's go to the VA hospital, and you think it was by accident that you was that last patient there? If they didn't call you, or do you think that was a divine appointment so that you can have the top oncologist in the business?
I really believe that everything that happened to me going through that whole process, that it was some divine intervention. Because I gave it some thought. After a while, I said, you know what? This is cool having cancer. I said, because why not me? I said, I've been blessed. I said, I'm at that time I was 40. At that time I was 45 years old. My mother had passed away in 2001. I found out I had breast cancer in 2003. I was a grown man. I had my own family. I was working for the city. I had a good job. Everything I had, everything I worked for, and everything I had, I was blessed as far as I was concerned. And I thought about the little kids and having cancer. And you remember seeing those little St. Jude shows where you see little kids with the boy walking around with the chemo, the pole. And I thought about them, and I said, I'm going to get my strength from them. So one of the things about playing basketball and playing sports, you have a certain drive that nobody can explain. Nobody can. You just can't explain it. It's just in you to make that move.
Right.
And I kind of use that same drive that I had as an athlete and growing up as a basketball player to deal with cancer.
Wow. That is something. The same, so you apply that attitude with your Christ likeness. Yeah. Battle cancer.
That's right.
That's a good formula, my brother.
That's right.
I mean, you're taking it from the mental, the spiritual, and the physical side.
That's right.
To deal with that. Now, the thing is, when the doctor examined, were you, was it a period of time, like a journey to get to that attitude? Were you afraid of dying? Did the doctor say anything like, if you don't have this procedure, you're going to die? Or anything like that? Did you face any of those type of challenges, so to speak?
I was told that, but it was in the early stage also at that time, and this was another divine intervention. It was caught in the early stage. Therefore, I was limited to just having I didn't have to do any radiation or chemotherapy.
Okay.
So what they put me on was this pill called tamoxifen. So I took tamoxifen for 3 years, 2003, 2014, 4 years. But in 2007, my wife was having me again. She found a lump under my right arm. And I had to go back to work. And she found a lump under my right arm. And she said, let's go, you gotta go. I said, what? She said, I gotta take you back to the hospital. Got in the cab, she took me to Manhattan, 21st Avenue, they examined me, sent me back into surgery, took it out. But this time, they put me on chemotherapy.
That time you did.
Yeah. And they changed the tamoxifen, because the tamoxifen, he said, well, the fact that there was a reoccurrence in 4 years, between 5 and 4 years, he said, I'm going to change the medicine and give you this other medicine, which was called aromas. It was another pill that I was on for like about 5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
But would you say that changed your perspective on, as far as when you had the surgery, would you say it changed your perspective on how you saw when women can have breast cancer?
I think for men, it probably was a little different, because I took it a step further and said, well, guys come back from the army with blown off legs, and they come back from the army with a chest in augmentation, where they've been shot with a 50 caliber. And the fact that my breast, and then I said, my breast is not who I am. My breast is a part of me. And I'm in the bed, in the hospital bed, and all of these thoughts are going through my head because I think at that point I really realized the genuine Raymond, who I am, really saw past the artificial, you know, in terms of whether this is going to bother me with women, you know, relationship with, you know, even my wife.
Yeah.
And things, whatever's going to bother me in relationship with her or, you know, other women. I said, no, because I said, the real makeup of this whole thing was my attitude.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had this, and I didn't know that it was a platform for me to stand on.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who's living in the shadow. The fact that they have breast cancer, they don't, they don't want to go do anything anymore. They don't want to talk to nobody. They shy away from their family, except from their kids. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, just men in general, again, they have problems with going to the doctor and finding out, you know, if something's wrong with them. Of course, you're a man. It's like, I'm a man first. And, you know, I can't get sick. I have to take care of my family. You are that person. I get that. But you know what? Breast cancer for men is so rare. It is so rare. And it's something that we really don't talk about too much because of the fact that there's some men walking around with breast cancer and they just haven't said anything about it.
And they're in denial.
They are in such denial that they won't get anything done about it. Because they feel as though, like he was saying, it's going to take something away from them. It's not. It's not going to take anything away from you. It's the mere fact of, you know, early detection is the best prevention.
Exactly.
You find it early, you take care of it, you have a better chance.
And the second opinion.
And of course, and I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Anytime when you're diagnosed with any form of cancer, you should definitely have a second opinion because now we have so many options.
Right.
We have so many options. You know, there's a test it's called the BRCA2 to check for the mutation to see whether or not if you have a mutation in your DNA. So the thing is, everyone should have that test. Now, Ray, clearly, you had no family history of it. You know, so for him to go and get a BRCA2 test, why would he do it? Usually with that, you need to have some kind of form of history. And unfortunately, with the insurance companies, if you have to, unfortunately, so unfortunately about the insurance companies, you have to have some form of family history in order for them to cover the test to pay for the insurance company. Yes, the BRCA2 test, in order for them to cover it under your insurance plan, which I think is just horrible. You should be tested. Now that we know that you can get breast cancer or you can get any form of cancer without zero family history, that this should be covered hands down.
Right.
Question for you. Okay, that BRCA2 test, is that something that, you know, say you go to the doctor every year for the regular physical examination, you know, and guys, you know, we get checked for prostate and all that stuff. Should we ask for that test?
You sure can. You sure can.
I never knew about it.
You sure can. But I'm quite sure your doctor would probably say, you know, why do you want this?
Gotcha.
And the thing is, if you don't meet the criteria for this test, then it's like, oh, well, why get it done? But I always say this, be adamant about it, because guess what? You have the option to get this test. If you say, I want this test done, they have to do it, regardless of the fact.
Right.
Get it done. You know it's done. That's it.
It's also, I believe, called genetic testing.
Yeah, genetic testing.
Yeah, they wanted to do all of that. I had doctors from Washington, D.C. at the VA hospital come around to hear my story. Because like you said, my story was, number one, it was rare.
Right.
And number two, it was not only it was rare as far as male having a breast cancer, because Richard Roundtree, I read about his story when I was in the hospital. He was just the first African American that I heard of with male breast cancer.
Well, I didn't know that. Which one?
Yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with him to do a show with him because I really wanted to talk to him about his story.
Right.
But the thing with the cancer with me, the fact that my wife touched it. And what it was a stunt. I mean, it was a stunt. So I was talking with somebody, and they said, "What do you think about your wife touching you at that particular spot?" And it's cancer.
That's his wife.
The best part of being married is you don't have to buy a house. You can be the nurse, and I'll be the doctor. That's me, and I'll check you. And it's the best part of my marriage. You know?
I'm just saying, if I was married, it's better.
I didn't realize that when you're in the shower or in the bathroom alone, you should be touching your body. You should be feeling yourself and going over your body and checking for, because you know your body.
Right, that's true.
And I was saying to somebody at the church, we were talking, he said to me, he said, it's kind of strange that your wife would touch you right there and it would be cancer. And I said, well, you know what I really feel? I said, I feel for some reason, I feel it was God's hand touching me through my wife. Okay? Because there was work he wanted me to do. So he said, why would you come? I said, leading from the beginning of this whole thing, there was always a sign. And one of the signs, which you said, being married 32 years, being married 32 years was hard because you always know she worked for the Board of Education and I worked for the city for the health. So we saw each other like, I'm going to have to sleep. I was out the door at 5:30 in the morning. And it was, I didn't realize, how important it is in a marriage sometimes just to hold your wife. Just to hold her and touch her. It's not just always about, I don't really know a lot about marriage. I came up in a family where there's things we didn't say. I didn't hear I love you. It was just a word that you didn't hear a lot.
Gotcha.
And when you start talking about your wife, in all actuality, you become one. So, for a man to not have that intimacy with his wife, where he can't share anything with her about himself, and that goes back to the question about why men don't go to the doctor.
You're going to have Ray come back when we do another relationship show.
Okay.
He said he dropped a key knowledge.
Because I was doing the man-to-man. I had a man-to-man I was doing at Woodlawn Hospital from 5 to 7. Okay. And I said, if I could reach one man, I did my job. And I would, one night I had one man there, we got in a conversation. So he said, what's your question? He said, are you doing this and all this is free? He said, we should have more men here. I said, yeah, but you here. I said, you and we're going to touch on something right now. And what I told him was that unless men are truthful with themselves, they're not going to never be able to get to where they want to go. That's why the woman is in the man's life. Now, if the chances of my wife not being in my life, I wouldn't be. They would have found me dead somewhere at a party. They would have found me dead somewhere at a party. They would have found me dead somewhere hanging out on a basketball court. I probably would have fell dead because I wouldn't have known enough about myself. But that woman touch is very important. When I go home now, she touches me. I said, I'll take my clothes off and touch me. Make it feel. Touch me. Touch me. Anything that ain't supposed to be there,
we got to bring you on that relationship show. We do another one. Good points there, brother. But let me ask you this. I mean, of course, men can take showers. Have you, in showering, prior to, have you ever felt that? Or just when your wife did it, that's when you actually, did you have any inkling of it or any discomfort, whenever you did touch it? Because we had to touch it when we were washing.
No. I mean, when you play a ball and you come for playing ball, and the guy hit you in your rib with an elbow. You know that's. You know what I mean, there was, you know, a bump come up and you put some ice pack on it.
Right.
This breast cancer is. I did a mammogram just last week.
Okay.
I did a mammogram last week, and the mammogram is crucial for men. I'm in there with all the ladies, but I had to go. I had to
It's a mammogram for men.
Yeah. Because see, they found my doctor at the VA last week found a tumor under my right arm again.
Gotcha.
So they have to do an ultrasound and a mammogram. And this Wednesday I'll be going in for they're going to do a biopsy.
Right.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to go through that right now.
Okay.
But after having the cancer and the tumors, and you know, naturally you just start paying more attention. You know, and I watch when I go see my oncologist.
Right.
They take their fingers and they do this, and they show me what to feel for and these things. And in men, you know, your groin. You know, they show you how to roll your groin to feel for lumps and little bumps. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that I learned in terms of now when I go to the bathroom, I examine myself differently.
Wow.
You take long in the shower.
Well, I take long in the shower, man. Yeah. I take much longer in the shower.
But you know, a lot of men really going back to that. You say their wife's healing hands, but I do that for my husband. I be like, let me show you how to do it, because you have to know what you're feeling for. He's not gonna go to a man doctor to show him that he had a man doctor before. And I'm like, so I do that for him. And a lot of women don't know, just having that comfortability, like, you know, you gotta lay down, let me feel.
Right.
You know, and I showed him in the shower. I said, you do the same thing I do. And I hung the thing in the shower so everyone can be comfortable, the girls. Because men prostate, you know, every time they find it's too late. And that's because men feel, I'm not having no doctor, but it's crucial. And like Drea said, as a nurse, if you ask for it, they have to get it done. And when my husband, I was like, I'm a nurse, you're going to do this, this, and this. And his doctor was like, no, he's not old enough. When is he going to be old? When you get it and there's nothing to be done? No, we're doing it now. A colonoscopy, a man shouldn't have to wait till he's like 50. No, you do it now. You do it early. So, like you said, early detection is the best.
And you have to look at your urine when you're in the bathroom. Men have to look at their urine. They have to look at their stool. Certain smell of your stool. All of those things, man, in the bathroom can you know, because the cancer in the colon and in the prostate, when you go into the bathroom, when you look at your underwear, you'll know that something is wrong. This is not urine. This is turning into like pus stuff. You know what I mean? So then there's two things that you're going to either come to a conclusion with about that. One, you got a disease or a STD, you someone you ain't got no business, and other, or something. I mean, so now you're not going to come to truth with that, and you're going to go to your life because you know. That's why, I mean, going to the doctor, man, you know, you're not going to the doctor. But if the doctor's wrong, I mean, like she just touched on, Andrea just touched on something that is so true. In 2003, when I found out I had cancer, it was different, the testing and the things that they were doing as far as, now they have so many options and so many stuff now. They come in now, what they do now, that to remove anything, you don't even have to be worried about that. You know?
But if you don't,
we're talking about PET scan. Or scans your whole entire body.
And a lot of people don't know that.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive, and so is your life.
You
know, insurance companies, and it's unfortunate, the insurance companies dictate what we can and cannot do.
That's right.
You know, you need your colon check. It's like, okay, you have to be between the ages of 49 and 50 in order to get that done. My thing is, who comes up with this? Who comes, you know, it's like everyone's sitting down at the board of directors and they're sitting down and say, okay, you know what, statistically, it just basically shows that more men get colon cancer at this age. So we'll put the a requirement for colonoscopy between the age of 49 and 50. By that time, your whole system is brewing. And you have no idea. Because some cancers are silent, which gives you no indication whatsoever.
That's right.
You just happen, you know, the thing with breast cancer,
That's right.
okay, you can palpate, you can feel.
That's right.
But sometimes, again, having it under in the lymph nodes,
Right.
so you can't. I mean, you can get a mastectomy, but again, you have to get those lymph nodes removed.
That's what my next question was going to be to you, because as a cancer survivor as well as my mom as well, breast cancer. And what I told my mother when they found the lump, I told her take both the breasts off, because as a nurse, once you leave the breast, in order the breast goes to the lymph nodes, lung goes to the liver. It has the liver and the brain. So when they found it in my mom, I told her to take the breast off. She had no chemo, she had nothing. But the lymph nodes came back because that's my question. Did you have them do that?
You know what? I saw the specialist last week, and she asked me. She said, "Did they take out all your lymph nodes?"
They should have taken them out.
See,
You didn't know that.
I didn't know. I wasn't educated
Yes.
to know anything like that. But when she examined me, she said, "Okay." She said, "I need to know if I need to find." She said, "But I guess the fact that she took the ultrasound and the mammogram will show,
Right.
Right." But she said, "Whatever happened, I want you to come back Wednesday for the biopsy because of the fact that I had the cancer twice."
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And sometimes when you have the chemo, it comes back rapidly, and some of the chemos don't work. But for you, it's going to work because we know it.
Yeah.
And we already know that.
Yeah.
So when we don't have knowledge, and my mother is only a survivor because of me.
Yeah.
Because my mother was like, I'm keeping my breast in this, and I had to let her know.
Right.
I watched ladies that took the breast off, that lived, and then I watched ladies that felt they were so really needed the boobies.
Yeah.
I said, you don't have a boyfriend. That's why. Because the cells are so microscopically, they can't see it. So it travels. So you're not, then the doctors are not able to scoop up. Some people get them to clean the area. That's the wrong thing to do. So anytime they're using you as a platform, so that's something you should make sure you let them know.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely
So
going to
now
let
you
you
know.
Yeah.
The lymph nodes, it travels to the lymph node automatically. So if you want to take it out, take the lymph nodes out, because
Right.
that's what, that's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna put on the phone.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to let you know that.
Brother Ray, we're going to have to wrap 2 minutes to wrap up. Any closing statements you want to say to the brother, to the sister? Well, I guess mainly to the brothers out there.
Yeah.
Any closing statements you want to make?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't have much time in this world to worry about how long in this world we have. You know, but I guess the time that we do have is, we should be learning, we should be educating ourselves, and we should be trying to live long enough for our loved ones, thinking about, what life would be like, you're not here. But if you got a choice right now in this country, in America, we got a choice right now to go to the doctor and get yourself examined and get yourself checked. You can live your life for another 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Because only God knows how long, you're going to be here anyway. But it's just very important for men to start paying attention to yourselves and start listening to your wives, man, because they need you, man. They need you, and it's a selfish thing to not want to go to the doctor because you got your machoism and you don't want to go, as opposed to looking at the person who needs you. And, it's just very important. And myself, being a healthy man, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and played basketball and did all the manly thing. And I'm not ashamed, man, of being an advocate and a male role model, or an advocate to speak to people about, going to get their self-examined and get themselves checked if they are diagnosed with cancer. Not only breast cancer, but any cancer. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you. We need men, man. We need the men to children need to mend, we need to mend.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here live on Ushering in the Kingdom. Hand claps, finger snaps for Brother Ray Rice. Brothers, the one thing that we picked up, and ladies, well, maybe the brothers, one thing we picked up out of that, listen to your wives. And go to that doctor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another edition of Ushering in the Kingdom. We're going to wrap it up right now, so please stay tuned next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on Ushering in the Kingdom. God bless you, and we'll see you next week. Praise God. Amen.